Hey, this is episode 261. I want to read something before we get started here real quick. A little different, right? A little different. Let me just read this quote, because I know you guys like when I do that. Because here we go. The Vikram lander followed the planned descent trajectory from its orbit of 35 kilometers, in parentheses 22 miles, to just below 2 kilometers above the surface. ISRO officials wrote in an update Saturday, September 7th, all the systems and sensors of the lander functioned excellently. Until this point, improved many new technologies such as variable thrust propulsion technology used on a lander. How the fuck can you crash a damn ship on the moon and say that the shit functioned excellently? Did they mean to crash the bitch? Is that what happened? How does that happen? How do you put out a quote that your Sherp is a whole Vikram thing? I can't get over the name of this thing, Vikram. What the fuck does that mean? How can you, and then the name of their organization, ISRO, is the Indian Space Retro, obviously. I don't know what the hell that stands for. I can't find it in this article. But ISRO said, everything functioned great. It was fantastic up until the time the bitch crashed on the moon, and now we're fucked. We don't know where the fuck it is. How is that a test of your space program? If that's what happened, if that was the end result, who the fuck is going to trust you to put anything into space? Yeah, so that's what happened. The Vikram lander kind of bit the dust, but it turns out that their orbital satellite that's been hanging out around the moon, and I can't even pronounce this shit, to be honest, so I'm not even going to try. Apparently, it found heat signals of the Vikram lander, and so they know it's there. It's putting out a little bit of heat, but they can't figure out how in the hell to get this thing to spark up and do what it's supposed to do, today, who knows what the fuck it's supposed to do? Because according to their quote, it did exactly what it had to do. Crash land on the fucking moon. And that's what it did. So congratulations, India. You rock. You crash landed on the moon. Next. Oh, by the way, the orbiter is called the Chandrayaan-2 orbiter. I wonder what happened to the first one. They probably crashed as well. And it's actually called the Indian Space Research Organization. Wow, far from NASA. ISRO. I'll just call it ISRO because it's more like Indian Space Retro Organization because it's probably a lot of old technology we're dealing with here. I had to kind of throw that out there for you because I know you guys know that. You don't say it, but you count on me to, talk the talk, walk the walk, and kind of get in trouble. And have people from India, stop listening to me right now. But, hey, you got to understand. So, Vikram lander should be the Vikram crasher. And, you hope for the best. You hope that they are actually to make some kind of connection with this thing, but kind of looks like that's not going to happen. But congratulations, you crash landed on the moon. Who's going to Disney? This is episode 261 of the UFO Buster Radio Report. I am Manny Moonraker, and I just had to break into that because I was watching it the last couple days, and I tried to ignore it as much as I could. I tried not to talk about it because who gives two flying fucks? Most of the time, it was not a well-known, the European space program, the NASA, these guys who have been shooting shit up and crashing shit on other planets. You really don't pay attention to that. But my question here is, what's going on with the moon? Why are so many people fucking with the moon now? I mean, we just had those troglodytes or whatever the fuck they are dumped on the moon. We had China dumping shit on there, and now they found some kind of gel substance on there, which people are already downplaying. They're downplaying it as being glass, basically. Some meteor hit the surface and created a bunch of glass, but they're saying it's gel. Potato, who the fuck cares, right? And now we have conspiracy theories, quote unquote. I got the bunny ears going. Conspiracy theories that apparently it was a UFO that made the Vikram lander bite the dust. Really? How's about crappy ass technology? Maybe that's what did it. Maybe really shitty technology did it. The word is that the engine that was used to power the Vikram came from a 1978 VW Beetle. But it was outfitted for space travel, so kudos for that. And I really don't know. I don't know how the fuck this thing was going. I really don't know. When I think about any of these smaller countries getting together a space program, it drives me insane. There's got to be some controls for this. You can't just be dumping shit wherever the fuck you want to just because you're a nation. You can't be littering on the moon the way it's been going right now. I mean, everybody's just dumping shit on the moon. Hey, let me just fly something out there. Oh, fuck, they crashed. We'll try again in 6 months. What happens to this stuff? Who the fuck? This is not like some place where you have a golf cart person going out picking up people's balls all the time. There's nobody out there to pick up all the garbage that lands on the moon. Somebody's got to put a stop to this, just like space. Everything, low orbit, filled with satellites. Who the fuck is going to clean that up? Is it going to be Trump's Space Force? Are they going to go up there and clean up low orbit? I don't know. Doesn't seem likely. Seems completely unlikely. And all that shit eventually has to come down. For you the people. You the people of Australia. You the people of UK, Canada, US, China, Japan. Yeah, we the people are the ones who are going to get fucked when these things come back down on us. But, we don't have a word. We don't have a voice. We have nothing. We don't have a single thing to back us up because nobody gives two fucks about what we think. That kind of leads into the story article for today about the voice. The voice in a Gallup poll. By the way, the live number is 972-290-1329. And before we get to the news article, I think maybe what I'll do to get you live peoples an opportunity to call in to talk shit because it is Sunday. I'm going to play a song. Because I know you guys like it. It's one of the single most requested songs on UFO Buster Radio. This is the end of the world. And I mean, I've had people like tweet me, send me Facebook messages. Hey, what's the name of that song? Hey, what's the name of that song? Who plays it? It's one of those unknown artists, really, to be honest. But hey, we're going to make them famous. That's for sure.
The satellites explode. It must be bad news overload.
really tried to play that song uninterrupted, so I said nothing. I stayed quiet as a mouse because I know you guys love it. So listen, I got a little bit of a story before we get into the news article for today, because I know that's what you guys are here for. You're not here to listen to me. You're here to listen to the shit you don't get a chance to catch up with, quote-unquote, so-called UFO stories. Anyway, Big O was recently on the phone with me, and he says that in the last 4 months or so, and I'm guesstimating because you can't get a fucking straight answer from him. He said in about the last 4 months, he was in a bar. Yeah, Big O was in a bar. He frequents those things. And while he was there, he ran into a patron who says, hey, have you heard of this podcast called UFO Buster Radio? That's my strategic pause. And he says, he says yes. Right? We all agree. Because for the love of Pete, I would think he would fucking say yes. So he did. And then he says to the guy, and I feel like this is a comedy, like, you know, a priest and a Jewish guy and a rabbi, you know, they all walked into the bar. Hey, have you listened to this podcast before? No. Anyway, long story short, the guy says, have you listened to this? And Big O says, have you listened to the earlier shows? And the guy says, no. Yeah, that happened. Yeah, so apparently he didn't know that he was speaking to the Big and the O in that bar. So you, guy, if you're listening still, if you haven't given up and you're out there in North Dakota, South Dakota, wherever the fuck you're at, guess what? You were actually, if you were talking to a kind of brownish looking guy with a bald ass fucking head and probably looking really drunk, that was Big O. And he was actually on the podcast. So if you want to go back to the early episodes, you're more than welcome to and catch up with Big O. And now you know what he looks like, unless you were really fucking drunk. Then you don't know what he looks like at all. But if you remember him, he's probably in the area most of the time. He probably goes to that bar all the damn time. So, yeah, you were that close to UFO Buster Radio, and you didn't even know it. Fucking hilarious. I love it. Let's get to the news article for today. By the way, if anybody ever runs into Big O in the Dakotas, feel free to call me and drop dime on him. Let me know what the hell he's doing, because I guarantee you half that shit will make you blush. Totally. I agree. So this is the article for today. It is Americans are skeptical of UFOs, but say the government knows more. Okay, this is a Gallup poll. Okay, we've done Gallup polls on here before, because it kind of make you wonder, who the fuck are they talking to? Who in their right mind even answers Gallup polls anymore? Like it used to be like they would call you at random back in the day, right? You'd answer your phone, put-a-ding, you answer it. Hey, do you have a moment to answer a fucking poll? You click on them, you just hang up. Right? You don't got time for that shit. But I guess they're using the internet now. I guess now they're trolling fuckers on the internet to talk about UFOs, right? This particular poll happened back in June 19th through the 30th. Yeah, it took that fucking long to find enough people who give two fucks about answering a Gallup poll. But it happened. So here are the highlights, just for you guys who love UFOs and who think that we should be kumbaya and just come forward with what is really going on. Number one, 2/3 in U.S. say government knows more than it's saying on UFOs. Hashtag no fucks given. We know that. We don't need a fucking poll for that. Somebody fired the Gallup person who put that shit together. God, what a bunch of assholes. Number two, 1/3 think some UFOs are actual sightings of alien spacecraft. Who the fuck did they write this for? This was not written for anyone that follows ufology. Not one bit. They're not telling me shit that I don't already know. Fuck the Gallup poll. Go talk about Trump or something. Stop fucking with me. Number 3. Residents of the West show highest belief. God damn it. Are they picking the shit that everybody knows? This is so obvious. Weed. Weed, yeah. If you're high on weed, pot, whatever you want to do to make it worth your while, if you want to, boost up the effects, put a little crystal meth in it, of course you're going to see fucking UFOs. Are you kidding me? They're probably dancing around on your lap. For fuck's sake. This is what the Gallup poll came out with. This is what they told us. This means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. What a waste of fucking time. And, there's so many companies that pay Gallup to find out how their business culture is like. Yeah, I've been through those. I've taken those Gallup polls. You sit in there, you answer a few questions, and they're like, oh, your fucking employees hate you. Then they put you through 6 months of why you should love your company. And this is what they've done to the UFO topic right now. But listen to this, because apparently back in 1996, they did the same thing. September 3rd through the 5th of 1996, this is what the answers were to one particular question. In your opinion, does the government know more about UFOs than it is telling us? It's another one of my strategic pauses for you guys. I mean, you might have a drink right now. You might take a sip of a little cognac, some vodkas, something to get into the UFO Buster Radio mood. At that point in time, 1996, 71% said yes. 71% of the fuckers that answered this damn poll, which probably in 1996 happened by the goddamn telephone, said yes. 19% said no. 10% said I don't give a fuck and just hung up. That's the no opinion. Now let's compare this question to June of this year, 2019. 68% said yes, 29% said no, and 2% said I don't give a fuck, get off my internet. And that's pretty sad. Those numbers are horrifically terrible and sad. We've been through 3 years of To the Stars Academy, Tom DeLonge, Elizondo, Lieutenant Commander Fravor, Tic Tac videos up the yin yang. Every freaking possible way that you can analyze that incident and let people believe that that there's a real situation here, that the government knows more than what they're telling us. 3%. The worst part is 10% more flat out say no. The government don't know shit. But the funny thing is that in most of these sightings that really have the best evidence, the government is involved in some way or another, or shows up on the scene to clean shit up. But, folks think they don't know anything. The government is clueless. Here's some other numbers for you guys that like to, add shit up because you're pencil pushers. You got your handy dandy calculator in your phone. 33% of U.S. adults believe that some UFO sightings over the years have in fact, I'm going to be emphatic on the fact, in fact, been alien spacecrafts visiting Earth from other planets or galaxies. Whew, that's a hard pill to swallow. It sure is. But don't worry. You can pull yourself up by your big girl panties now, because the majority, 60%, are skeptical, saying that all UFO sightings can be explained by human activity or natural phenomena, smoking weed, while other 7% are unsure. And lastly, 60% of Americans say they have personally witnessed something they thought was a UFO, while the vast majority, 84%, have not. Well, let's be honest. Most people are not looking towards Bugs the UFO hunter is in the back making a bunch of fucking noise. Calm down, dude. I'm on the podcast. The truth... Now he's snorting. I can't work under these conditions, Bugs. I can't. The truth is that most people have not really seen something. It's like you have to be at the right place at the right time or the wrong place at the right time, depending on how far the probing goes. You just have to be there. You just have to be there. No one is actually claiming that there's UFOs dropping from the skies like rain. No, these things happen at the weirdest situations, at the weirdest times, when you least fucking expect it. I mean, fuck. Ask Travis Walton. What the fuck did he think? That UFO was going to show up the day he was out there with his buddies trying to take down some fucking trees? No. He didn't think that. I mean, ask Ronnie Dawson. You think he thought that stuff was going to happen to him? No. Because it's not planned. It's not something that's common. So, yeah, the fact that 80-some odd of the people does not have any kind of a UFO experience happen to them is no fucking duh. Again, who put this stuff together? 84%. Big deal. Nobody gives a fuck. Anyway, so basically, most Americans are skeptical. The aliens have visited the Earth, according to this poll. 56% believe that those who spot UFOs are seeing something real, not just imagining it. I mean, again, it depends on what part of the state you live in. And that's another part of this particular story that is kind of weird, because it actually says that most folks in the west part of the United States believe more in UFOs and UFO sightings than any other part of the country. And the least amount of people per capita that give two fucks about UFOs are on the eastern side. The guys in the middle are literally in the fucking middle. To be honest, they're in the middle of it, but it's west, southern, and then the eastern folks, they don't give two fucks. They don't care. Nothing alien ever happens there, right? Wink, wink. So there you go. That is the poll for Gallup. The link is in the description to this podcast. Oh, not the podcast. You already found it. To the actual article. Check it out by Gallup. It actually is coming from Gallup.com. Listen. It is what it is. You cannot take a poll about the topic of UFOs and aliens to the general public when most of the time they're more focused on their telephones and focused in everyday life than to look to the skies, while you have another set of the population, which may not be as big as the rest of them, who actually sticks to researching, reading, trolling other UFO experiencers in order to get some answers. And, you really got to look at what the population is, because I guarantee you, scientifically, they picked the wrong fucking crowd to answer that. But it gets them in the news, because right now, UFOs, it's all about the news, thanks to the New York Times, to the Stars Academy and the crew. But the question for you is, are you part of that percentage of Americans that does not believe that we are being visited, that doesn't even believe that there is UFO life somewhere else? Is it coming from somewhere else? Is it interdimensional? There are so many angles to this. You can't write this stuff, but you can sure as hell put a fucking poll together that's useless. This is UFO Buster Radio. I'm checking out. By the way, I got a song on here called Galactic, because the galaxy is sick. And I appreciate you guys for listening. I'll be back tomorrow, hopefully. It's going to be a bang-up son of a bitchin' week for me. So I'm coming back to torture you guys, because somebody's got to. By the way, ciao.